Welcome back, my fellow Chibits, to the weekly Chibit questions, and as always, I had to ask you on Twitter, give me a bunch of weird / bizarre questions, and you guys delivered, so let us begin. Are you going to give Devilman Anime 2018 a try, since the manga inspired Kentaro to create Berserk? Wait, what? Wait, you're telling me the creator of Devilman inspired Kentaro, the writer of Berserk, to make Berserk? What the fuck? What? I've heard of Devilman recently because people have been recommending it to me and talking about it recently. I personally don't know really anything about Devilman. I'm not even gonna pretend like I do. But, are you serious? Devilman inspired Kentaro to write Berserk? Huh. I need to look into this Devilman anime then. I think it's coming on Netflix, isn't it? I think it's like gonna be a Netflix original, if I'm correct. I could be wrong there, but I heard something about that. But I'll look into that, definitely. If it can inspire Kentaro to write Berserk, Devilman must be kind of fucked up, so I'll look into it. How do you feel about this? Chibit questions. Fuck you. Have you ever experienced sleep paralysis? I have heard about this, and I don't know if I necessarily have ever had it. I know sleep paralysis is where you can't move or speak when you wake up. It's like, as soon as you wake up, it's like you're awake, but you can't, move your body at all, and you can't speak, but then it just disappears. I don't know if I've experienced something like sleep paralysis. I might have, but there has been times where I laid on my side maybe in the wrong way. I don't know if I was pinching a nerve or whatever. But I remember one time I woke up, it's actually recently, it was about probably maybe 3 or so weeks ago. I was sleeping wrong on my side, and I woke up, and basically I couldn't even move my arm. I lifted up, and my arm was completely numb, and I couldn't move my arm at all, but then all of a sudden it started moving after 10 seconds. I just couldn't move it. I don't know if it's because I slept on it wrong or not, but I don't think I've really ever experienced sleep paralysis, but it sounds like it would be terrifying. It would be absolutely terrifying to wake up and not be able to move or speak at all. Oh my god, that's scary stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if that's, a sleep paralysis, what I experienced, but I don't know if I have. I know you said you like Godzilla, so what is your favorite Godzilla movie? I really don't have a favorite Godzilla movie. I didn't even like the newest one because there was barely any Godzilla in it. If I had to say my favorite Godzilla type show or whatever, it'd be the TV series, the cartoon TV series of Godzilla. I really liked that growing up as a kid, and so I'd say that's my favorite. I'm not the biggest fan of the movies. Do you prefer single player or multiplayer game? I prefer single player because I'm more into story-driven games, but I do love myself some multiplayer games, like for instance playing Smite and stuff. Big fan of Smite, love competitive multiplayer, but most of the time if I had to choose, I'd probably go with the single-player experience because I do love those single-player games because I've had a lot of fun playing single-player games throughout my life. Have you ever played Osu before? It's a fun rhythm game with lots of anime songs. Please try it. I have heard about Osu. I've actually even seen a video a long time ago. It's probably 6 or so years ago. It was a long time ago. And I know about the game. I'm definitely not competent enough or good enough to probably play it. But I've never played it, but I have seen it. And it looks like it would be a game definitely for those that love music but also love rhythm games. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of rhythm games. I never could get into Guitar Hero or Rock Band or anything like that. I was always just one that probably watching, YouTube videos and stuff on it, but I was never big on that type of stuff. However, Osu I have heard about before, and I've just never given it a shot. Favorite anime superpower / ability? The Quake fruit from One Piece. I know it's not the most original or probably the greatest of all time or the most in-depth ability, but I really love Whitebeard's ability in One Piece. It was something that truly blew me away when I was watching One Piece, how strong the ability was, and just how strong Whitebeard was. I love that ability. I love just the effect of it when he was just cracking the air with his Quake fruit, and you just saw the air shatter and it started rumbling and earthquakes happened. I would say that's probably my favorite ability I've ever seen in an anime. It was definitely Whitebeard's Devil Fruit ability. What artist would you want to create the soundtrack for your life? Also, what would some of the songs be called? Okay, here's the thing. I've said this many times in the past. I know about songs, but I'm too lazy and I really don't care to look up, like, the artist's name. Like, for instance, the person that sings it or whatever, or even the song's name. I'm gonna be just completely honest here. I mean, I really don't look that stuff up. And even when it comes to, like, famous opening songs and stuff, I don't usually even look up the bands and stuff. Like, the only one I really know on the top of my head is Sawano, because I just don't really care enough to look up the actual band name. I'll probably get, you know, maybe the OST to a certain, like, anime series or whatever, but I don't really know who sung these songs or whatever, composed the music, and so I don't really know, so I'm just gonna do one I remember, and I'm just gonna say Sawano, because, I mean, the music is fucking godly in anime, and I mean, I actually know what, I take that back. I would say the composer, whoever did Ghostsick. I don't know how many of you have seen Ghostsick. Like, it's an old anime. It came out a while back, but I really like Ghostsick's soundtrack. Whoever composed that music for that anime series, I would love that composer to make the songs for my life if I had to have a soundtrack. I would say the people did, Ghostsick's, soundtrack, and some of the songs. I don't really know. I don't really know. I guess the melody of Chibi? I don't fucking know. You put me on the spot here. I have no idea what I would call the songs, but I would say the people that did the Ghostsick soundtrack. What would you think if Ashita was actually an American? I would flip my shit. Like, that would freak me out if Ashita was actually American. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I would be shocked because, I mean, that would be like, yo, that means Ashita has been in America. He isn't just strictly, in Japan and all that. And I'm like, whoa, it would just blow me away. Can you dab? Will you ever consider making a Chibi Discord? That's the thing. I've been asked to join Discords and all that. I don't know much about Discords. I know it's a good way to communicate and stuff. I would need to look into details and stuff of how to make a, a Chibi Discord, but I might eventually consider making one depending on how many wants that. I mean, how many of you would be interested in a Chibi Discord? I'm very, very curious about that, actually. Let me know in the comments about that. I mean, I might consider making one if many of you would actually like that. It really depends on the community and how much you want something like that, and maybe I might think about it. We'll see. Is Halo an anime? Halo Legends. Well, that's the thing. Halo in general is not an anime, if you're talking about, like, the story and stuff, but the Halo Legends shorts, or the episodes that comes in it, I know there was Japanese directors that worked on the anime, or the cartoon of Halo Legends, because I know there was a bunch of different episodes with different art styles. Basically, there was a bunch of different directors and artists all that worked on different episodes. It wasn't the same team working on each individual episodes, because if you've watched Halo Legends, you should be very aware that the art style shifted quite a bit while watching it, and the reason for that was because there was just different directors, art directors, all that working on it, which changed the art and animation. And I think it was episode 3 or 4 that had, like, a Japanese art director or whatever a part of it, so I guess, yeah, I would consider an anime. I would, yeah. I'd probably consider Halo Legends, some pieces of it, definitely an anime. Chibi Room Tour 2017? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't really have much of interest to really show. I mean, I've collected a few manga here and there, but overall, I don't think I really need a room tour. I don't think it's necessary, to be honest. Maybe I might make an updated one eventually when I decide to get another house or whatever, but for now, though, I don't think I necessarily need to do an updated room tour. I mean, maybe. Maybe one day I might do it, who knows, but I just don't think I need to update it at this moment. How close are you to finishing Tower of God? Still where I was the last time someone asked me. I'm still, like, in the middle of Season 2 and all that. I've yet to catch up because I'm a lazy ass and busy with other things and all sorts of stuff. Basically, procrastination and, yeah, a bunch of shit. So, I'm not close to finishing it. I haven't really even done anything with it, so. Chibi, what grade would you give the spring anime season thus far, and which anime has disappointed you the most? Let's see, I would give the spring of anime 2017 a solid B. And the reason why it even gets a B is because of the season 2s. For instance, Shingeki no Bahamut, Shingeki no Kyojin, Boku no Hero Academia, the obvious stuff that, is season 2s that are making this season really good. But in terms of that, though, if it wasn't for some of these season 2s and maybe these very exceptional, new series that came out this season, I would say this season would be a C minus or so, or maybe even a D. But the most disappointing anime of this season, let's see. I would have to say, Alice to Zoku, or whatever it's called. I forget the final part of it, but it's the Alice show. That series disappointed the fuck out of me, because it seemed like it was going to be so good and all that, and then it just fell flat, and I'm like, oh my god, this is an atrocious series. So, I'd probably say that series. That's probably one of the most disappointing anime I've seen from this season. What do you think about sub and dub anime? Personally, I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't care about the difference of how people feel about sub and dub. I mean, if you like your anime with, English subtitles and the voices are in Japanese, go for it. If you like your English dubbed anime, go for it. I personally don't really care. I mean, there's some anime series I love the dub for. There's some anime series I prefer the sub for. I mean, I actually really love the dub of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but I also love the sub as well. They're roughly even. I personally prefer the English dub of, Dragon Ball Z, but I still watch the Japanese and I deal with it. It doesn't bug me that much. It used to, but doesn't bug me as much anymore. But then on top of that as well, there's other series. I prefer the English dub of Spice and Wolf instead of the, Japanese, dub. So, I mean, personally, my thoughts on sub and dub, it just depends on your personal preference and what was the first experience you had for that series, like your hands-on experience. Because honestly, if you, let's say, were to watch Dragon Ball Z with Japanese voices and English subtitles, most likely you would enjoy that more than probably the English dub. Just let's face it, usually what you hear first is what you like more than the other, and that's kind of how it is. So, yeah, it just depends on what you want to start with. But, personally, don't really care about whatever I start with. I go out of my way to watch sub because that's usually what's actually out there, but since dubs are more streamlined now, for instance, more anime series are getting dubbed alongside of the sub, maybe one of these days I might just completely shift from watching subtitles or English, subtitles and shift over to just watching a dubbed anime series. Who knows? But I don't really care much. I really don't. Get to meet Ishida Sensei and get his autograph, or get $1,000. Which one? That's the thing, though. I mean, if I meet Ishida Sensei and I get his autograph, couldn't I just sell that autograph for, like, more than $1,000? So, why would I go with the $1,000, which would be spent like that, when I could just go to get Ishida's autograph, which is a priceless item, because honestly, an autograph from Ishida, of all things, is just amazing in terms of just value. But, I mean, if you were to go around and try to sell it, you would easily sell that over $1,000. $5,000 plus, probably, depending on the person that wants it. So, overall, I would say I would go with Ishida's autograph. You like Gulliver from Gulliver Travels. Isn't Gulliver Travels that old book or whatever? I think it is. I think that is that old book or story or whatever. I've heard about it. I personally have never read it or whatever. If it is a book, if that is what I'm thinking of, I personally don't know much about it. I want to be honest. I think it is. My brain is... I've heard the name. I've heard of... like I said, I think it's a book. It's what you're talking about, but I don't know. But, I guess I'm kind of neutral on if I like the, Gulliver or whatever, because I really don't remember. I'm just gonna be honest. Where is Itori? Itori. Oh, yes, the girl in Tokyo Ghoul, yes, that is a very good question now that you think about it. Where is Itori? She hasn't even appeared in Part 2 Tokyo Ghoul now that I think about it. Where the hell is she? That is a very good question. Has she not appeared? Rome has appeared. Uta's appeared. The other clowns have appeared. I don't think Itori has appeared in Tokyo Ghoul Part 2. Where the fuck is she? Huh. That's a very good question. I have no idea. Who's your favorite Pokemon? Lucario. I really like Lucario. I love Lucario's design and everything. How is the weather over there? It's 30 degrees Celsius in the Netherlands. Way too hot. Well, it's been around like the upper 80s, low 90s in terms of Fahrenheit. And so it's been kind of hot. It has. And I can't wait till fall or winter gets here. Because I really, oh man, I can't stand hot weather. I really can't stand it. A hentai that you actually watched for the plot. People do that? People really do that? And don't you just watch hentai for... Let's be real here. Let's be real here. No. No. I can cook pasta, so do we have a deal living with you? What kind of pasta do you cook? That is the question. I'm 19, but Mikasa is 15. Should I change my age so I can get with her? Number 1, no. Number 2, Mikasa is 15. What? The anime, what the fuck? Chibi, if I would send you a letter with much love, of course, would you read it on camera? Just curious. Obviously, I've always said this in my vlogs and all that. If you guys send me letters and you tell me you want it on camera, I will obviously read it on camera. The only time I will not read it on camera is if you guys tell me not to, or if it's something, like, really bad. Like, really, really heinous. Like, what the hell? But... yes, I read everything on camera. Usually I do, if, you all ask me. So, don't worry about that. I definitely would. How do you feel about having kids? Well, if I ever was blessed to have someone, let's just say that. If I was ever blessed to actually get someone, be with someone, have the chance, would I want to have kids? Well, it's not a complete no. Like, I would be fine with kids, but the thing is... I wouldn't automatically do it. If I was to do it, I would need to make sure it's the proper time for it. I would need to make sure that whoever I'm with, we're stable. We have a good working relationship. Everything is in order and all that before something like that. Because having kids is definitely something that you really need to think about. You shouldn't just rush out to have kids. You need to think about it and understand what type of responsibility you're going to have when you do have a kid. And so... how do I feel about having kids? It's a great responsibility, and I could see the appeal of having kids, but if I ever was to get lucky to be able to have that position to have kids, I would like them. I would like to have kids, but I'm also fine if I never did get to, have kids. I'm also on that side of the spectrum as well. I'm, like, on neutral ground there, so... That's my personal opinion on that. I don't know if you've watched Netflix series or regular TV series, but freaking watch The Flash or The Office. I've never seen Flash or The Office. I know about the shows. I've heard about them. They've been recommended to me in the past, but I do watch shows quite often on Netflix, and actually, to speak about a show, I recently finished Jessica Jones, and I finished Season 1 of Daredevil, and I'm in the middle of Season 2 right now. Like, oh my god, Daredevil's so fucking good. Like, oh my god, dude. Like, oh my god, Season 1 of Daredevil, the Kingpin, like, man. Like, yo, that was a good season. And then Season 2 with the Punisher, like, bro, you're one bad day away from becoming someone like me, like, yo. Like, I love Daredevil. I'm having a lot of fun watching that. I had a lot of fun watching Jessica Jones. That was a brutal one. That was a savage TV show, but... I'm watching Daredevil right now, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, so, yeah, I might make a video on it, because I've actually wanted to make a video on Daredevil, because I really like how the Daredevil's being, shown in the TV series, like, what type of person he is, and how he pushes that limit constantly, where he might make the wrong choice and kill someone. I like that aspect of the show, so... I might talk about that soon, but I do watch shows quite often on Netflix, and regular TV shows and stuff like Better Call Saul and all that, but I haven't seen Flash of the Office, but I will take your recommendation into consideration. What did you dream last time you slept? Your fetishes are most welcome. No, I didn't have a fetish dream or anything like that, but my most recent dream, Most recent dream I had... I had one earlier this week. I'm trying to think. There was a dream I had earlier this week. Oh, yes. I think I remember. Okay. I remember getting up, like, it was a dream, okay? It was a dream. I remember for some reason I was sitting down to record a video in my dream and all that. And when I was recording, for some reason, when I was looking at my background when I was editing my video, my bookshelf was on fire. Like, all of my manga behind me, usually when I record, you see my background, all that. All of the manga behind me was on fire. Like, all of my manga. And I remember, like, I was freaking out when I was editing the video. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what? And I look over, and I see my bookshelf on fire when I was in the middle of editing and all that. And, I don't know, maybe that's a reference to how bad my computer is when it comes to editing. Because, like, oh my god, like, the rendering and editing of this computer is ass. It takes hours, and it's like, oh... But, yeah, that was one of the recent dreams I've had. In terms of fetish dreams, sadly, I don't have many of those. I want to be honest. I don't. And you don't know how many times I wish I could, but sadly, I don't. So, yeah, that really doesn't happen, actually. I don't think I've really even had one before. No joke. Seriously, I'm not trying to lie or hide anything. Like, I don't think I really have, which is depressing as fuck, because I really wish I could control my dreams. But, yeah, so that was the last dream I remember. Is Kaneki gonna smash? Yee. Would you eat hoes? Oh my god. Would you eat hoes? Ass if you was in Spice and Wolf. Left my ass off, bruh, like groceries. I think that the question was answered for me. Dick's out for Kaneki? Dick's out for Kaneki. What is the history between you and your mother? Honestly, I'm really not ready to talk about it. I want to be honest. That one is... yeah. That one definitely has a lot of, things about it that's kind of touchy. I will say that... I'll make a deal with all of you guys, and this deal is not going to be easy, because this one is, you guys got to work for this one, because, yeah, if you guys really want to know about the history between my mother and me, like, dive in and all that, because, yeah, I want to make this one hard, because this one is, I'm personally not ready. But I'm willing to talk about it if there's a bunch of you that want to. If this video can get 5,000, yeah, 5,000 likes, I know, that's pretty high. I don't think any of my videos have ever hit 5,000 likes. I know for a fact. And that's why I'm making it hard. Because the history between my mother and me, it's, yeah, it's pretty big. And I don't think it's something I should make relatively easy. So... if this video can get 5,000 likes before the next Wednesday, the next, Chibit questions, I will talk about it. I will personally dive in and tell you guys. I will. But, right now, no. I'm not going to talk about it. So, if this video, get 5,000 likes before next Wednesday, which, like I said, I know none of my videos have ever hit 5,000 likes, so I know it's basically impossible. None of you guys are probably going to be able to reach that amount, which, that's the point. But if it can happen, I will hold my word. I will do it. I will. And I've made my, peace on that. I've told you guys, when I make a deal, a bet, and all that, I do keep it regardless. So, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So, we'll see. So, with that, I think I'm going to conclude this video. So, thank you very much for all of you that, sat down and watched, this Chibit questions. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I love you guys. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. So, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.